Hello everyone, this is David Smith at the Developer Conference in Brighton. Very pleased to have with me another double award winner from last night's Developer Awards, Dan Pinchbeck, who is the Creative Director at the Chinese Room. Dan, please can you introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, I'm Dan. I'm a writer, designer, producer at the Chinese Room. It's my company with co-director Jessica Curry is also our sound designer and composer. We released our first game in February, which has done really well. We just won a couple of awards last night, and we're currently working on 2 new titles at the moment.
Tell us even more about the Chinese Room.
So the Chinese Room is a small studio. We were a studio of 3, we're now a studio of about 15 people. We're based in Brighton, but we do remote work across the UK and bits of Europe. We started off as an academic research project when I was doing a PhD on first-person shooters, and we started making mods, and those mods got to be successful, and we formed a company in September 2010, began trading in September last year, and really the last 12 months has been us going from being effectively a university-based mod team into a full indie professional studio.
And tell us a bit more about the games that have been so successful.
The games is really taken off as a first-person game called Dear Esther, where it's a story-driven game. So you just have this a deserted, desolate island that you walk around, and as you walk around it, you trigger bits of story and uncover this story. And it's very simple, but it seems to have struck a massive chord with gamers. Really, we always thought it would be something of a kind of a niche experimental product, and we ended up shifting over 50,000 units in the first week, repaid back our investors in 6.5 hours, and it seems to become something of a cult classic. So yeah, we're really pleased. We're now trying to repeat that, which is the real challenge.
Very good. So tell us about your role as a creative director. What does the creative director role at you do at your company, and maybe how you came to set up the company in the first place?
Sure. So as creative director, I mean, I kind of do a bit of everything from kind of managing the budget. I take on the full producer's role because it's such a small company. So my co-director Jess and I manage all the finances, all the legal stuff. And then essentially I design the games, write the games, humiliate myself doing placeholder voiceover for the games, do very bad artwork that my art team then have to clean up, and basically have, effectively it's my vision that I then force on people that actually have talent and ability, who actually have to go ahead and make the thing. We set up the company because like I said, I was doing a PhD, and I was really interested in first person games and what you could do with them, and I was kind of frustrated with an awful lot of academic stuff that was going out, with people kind of talking about what games could be and couldn't be, and they weren't doing it practically, and it felt like the industry was doing much more interesting stuff. So we kind of thought, if we want people to take us seriously, we'd better start making games. So we made a couple of mods, and they did really well, and we kind of went, well look, people seem to really like this, we could take this one step further and actually start just actually making these things, which was a very good move.
And why would you say the Chinese Room is a great place to work?
I think we're a good place to work because, for me, when you have people that have specialist skills working on a game, you have to give them the space to actually be specialists, to give them a lot of creative input, let them run with it, let them manage themselves to a large extent, let them kind of invest in what they're doing. And the more you let your staff fall in love with the project, and the more freedom you give them to operate and to pitch in, usually the better results you get. So we try and keep that kind of management really light. We try and let people run with their ideas, try things out, and we're making fun games, I think, is the other thing. You know, the projects that we're doing are exciting for the staff, and they enjoy working on them. And if your staff are excited and enjoy working on a project, you kind of, most of the job's done.
And how do you cope with people working in different locations?
Actually, it works really well. Weirdly, I think it kind of works better than in a single location. So in my old job, I used to work in an open plan office, and actually it was really bad for productivity. If you're working remotely, we have Skype open 24 hours a day pretty much, and we talk to each other constantly, we share video screens, but actually what tends to happen is there's no interruptions. So if people want to just put their heads down and work, all they have to do is click one button, Skype's off, and they're completely in their own bubble for as long as they need to do that. If they need to talk to the team, one button, and they're back talking with the team again. So it makes communication really tightly focused. And actually, I don't think, even if we had the opportunity to have a physical office, I think I'd be really wary of doing that. I think it works really well for us.
Fantastic. And finally, Dan, Dan, what advice would you give a job seeker looking to apply for a job with an indie developer like the Chinese Room?
I think there's three things really. The first one is portfolio is hugely important more than anything else, and that portfolio shouldn't just include assets or things you built, a few 3ds Max models. You need to have some kind of game-based stuff. If you've been involved in any project that's gone through to completion, that's worth twice anything else you could put in your portfolio. So get involved, even if it's a mod team, even if it's a free project, get involved in something that actually either goes to market or goes to a free release. Don't be afraid of cold calling. 3 of our staff of 15 we employed because they sent us emails saying, I'm really, really good and you want to employ me, and sent a portfolio. And they are really good. And we looked at the portfolio and went, if you've got that kind of level of push and you're happy to do that and you're going to put yourself out there and put yourself forwards, you're the kind of person we want in our company, because if you can apply that to our company, you're going to help us make better games. So get involved in things that are actually going to ship. Don't be afraid to cold call, and make sure that your portfolio is good. But if you've got those things, and indie games is a really, really good community. Talk to people. People are incredibly approachable, incredibly friendly. They'll give you advice. And if all else fails and you can't get a job in an indie company, start your own. Buy a company off the shelf, get a couple of people together, make a game, because you're going to be no worse off financially probably starting your own company than you were working for a small indie anyway.
Dan Pinchbeck, Creative Director from the Chinese Room, thank you very much.
Thank you.